What is up, guys? Jonny B here again today, and I'm going to be bringing you a video on another wide body kit. This time it's going to be on a Rallybacker V2. It's a 16-piece kit, and the car already has a Rocket Bunny version 2 from bumper, and it's got a version 1 wing on it and some really wide wheels, as you guys can see from the background. So this is going to be cool. It's going to be a bit different. It's gonna have a different bumper, obviously, than you would normally have with the Rallybacker kit. So, you know, sometimes it's nice to mix it up, and I haven't installed one of these yet, so I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's get started. One of the big differences with the Rallybacker kit versus the Rocket Bunny kit is with the Rocket Bunny kit, I normally just go ahead and do like a nice big cut through here, cut about half of this fender off, and boom, we're good, because then it has like a little opening here. Which kind of folds in on the Rocket Bunny kits. But with the Rallybacker kits, this piece is actually shown. There's like a little piece that kind of comes out here, but there's like a little vent area where you can stick your hand in between, and this is all visible, so you can't go ahead and cut it there. So I'm guessing that the cut's gonna have to be somewhere in this vicinity and probably stop around this area where this dent is at, which is nice because we're gonna be able to cut that out. So let's put the kit on, kind of see if we can put it over the top, figure out where we need to cut, mark it down with a Sharpie where the limits are that we want to cut. We don't want to go past them, and then see what we do. So I got all the boxes open, checking to see what's in what. This looks like one of the front fender pieces. Looks like we got both of them in here. Side skirt / quarter panel piece that has like the little vent, and we're gonna start off by putting these on so we know where to cut. So I got both of them mounted up just with some tape. This kit doesn't interfere with the fender like the Rocket Bunny kit does, so you can't really mount the Rocket Bunny kit. So this is kind of nice to be able to do this and kind of get all the parts to line up properly with the vents and everything, and even with the back of the door. It's kind of nice. Now that that's on, looks like from here up is where we need to cut. We can't really cut more than this because this is all going to be visible, so we got to leave that there. But look at that, now we know exactly where to cut. I gotta put the front fender pieces, which is gonna be the parts that go on the bumper. With those, I'll be able to tell if I need to cut the bumper, which most likely will. This guy is on airbags, so you guys can see that. Yeah, there you go. He's on airbags, so he's gonna be going down pretty low, so I need to make sure that there's gonna be no interference. All right, guys, so I got everything out of the boxes. First time installing this type of kit, or this specific kit to be exact. And it's actually kind of nice to be able to just kind of like tape it all on and kind of get an idea of how the kit's supposed to look. Obviously, I need to make sure that the fitment's going to be perfect. I have to obviously cut the fender and the bumpers to get the tabs under here to kind of like slip in properly. Got that done. I just wanted to figure out how the kit goes. The side skirt is like this piece here. It comes up to this like cut right there, and then from halfway there all the way up to here to this fender piece. Kind of an interesting kit. And then we have this here. I couldn't get this to stick because this piece needs to be like bolted down and like flex a little bit, but like always, most important part is to be able to get the gas cap open, and that seems to be working out pretty well, except for this little area here that seems to touch a little bit. It still opens and closes, but that's going to need to be shaved down. I did get this bottom section. You see how this is like nice and flush? When I bolted, this is going to get all pushed in. And then I also got this little rear bumper piece on. Got it to line up. And you know, this is all just mocked up. This is just tape. Obviously, I have to bolt all these pieces together to make sure that the fitment is good. But the car's looking pretty amazing already, just like that. So now that I have an idea, I know that I need to put these two pieces together. That way when I put that piece on, it's going to go on as one piece. I know that this piece will need to be bolted to that piece as well, so it's going to be like a 3-piece where this is all like one piece, and then right here forward, this is all going to be like one piece as well. So that's going to get bolted from the inside of this fender to that to make sure that that's perfect and it doesn't come apart. And then this just kind of bolts onto the door area. There's holes on top of the kit to bolt it down on top of there. Nothing too crazy. The extra pieces are like the little side splitters that already come bolted, so that's cool that those are already on. That way I don't have to worry about that, and getting that to line up would probably be a pain. So I'm happy that's already connected there. Took off what I had test fitted. I left marks on the fender where it needs to be cut. You can see right there. 2 different lines because of the kit. I can either cut up there, you know, or down lower, depending on what's going to look better in the end and what's going to help avoid the rub. Most likely be the lower mark just because of the wheels being so wide. And then on this bumper as well, when I had marked it, I did notice that this little edge tip here, get the light there, that actually almost rubs on these wheels. They're so stretched that it kind of helps out, but if they weren't stretched, they would definitely be rubbing. So that's going to need to be removed, and probably a lot of the lip under here. And then this is going to be a normal cut from there on. So we got the fender cut. Everything is looking good. We did all the usual that we do here. If you guys want to look more into what I do underneath here, you can check out my other Rocket Bunny videos. But for this one, I felt a little bit weird because normally I chop up about half of this fender to the door, but in this case this part shows, so I could only cut from like here, and then I just did the radius cut. And then in this little section I went ahead and kind of like cut it down to where it like lines up with the side, to kind of give it more of a smooth cut. Same thing over here. So now we can go ahead and put this on. Before that, I did bolt the bumper piece to the fender piece. So I have that right here. You see that? It looks like it's taped on, but it's actually bolted underneath. The tape was just to hold it in place. And then I'm also gonna try to tape, actually screw on the little fender to the side skirt piece to make sure that that's always going to be looking good. And pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and put this part together, and now I will be done with this front end part, and I can continue on to the other side. So this is what I meant by bolting it all together. By bolting it, I'm able to actually make sure that the fitment is perfect from piece to piece, and it's all together, so that when I go to put this on, it's all going to just sit on there, and the lines are going to be perfect. So if you look at the fender to side skirt, kind of get it from the proper angle, you can see that's nice and smooth. And same thing with the little fender to bumper piece. That's going to ensure that you have the best fitment no matter what. So that's why I always like to put the pieces together so they're all bolted together. And yeah, it's going to keep them a lot tighter than if you were to just leave them unbolted, which I think a lot of people just do like double-sided tape there or something like that. I don't like doing that. I'd rather have it all bolted and have it all nice and firm. So I think this is going to be the best option, and it looks cool because I'm going to be able to put 3 pieces on at once. So the front is installed. I joined all 3 pieces together, went ahead and put them on, put the wheels on, and it is on airlift suspension, so I was able to lower it down to give it, get it a good look. And then these wheels do stick out about an inch, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. I did have to cut a little bit extra pieces, kind of like right here where the bumper's at, and then the little tabs that are normally on the fender that are right there, and a little bit of the kit got cut as well. But other than that, since his wheels are stretched, it actually worked out pretty good. And the little bumper piece is actually mounted really nicely to the Rocket Bunny kit, even though it's not designed for it. So the front is completely done. Obviously you guys have seen me do most of the other work. Right now I'm in the middle of cutting the rears, which you guys have seen before, but I'll show you guys again just for whoever's hasn't watched any of my other videos. Here it is. So I got the rears all cut, welded, sealed, and then flat blacked so that it hides it on both sides. I actually cut a little bit higher on this car because it is on air, and normally when you want to air out, you want to air out much higher. So that's why that's like that, a little bit higher, but I think it's gonna be much better. Now to put all of this back end together in one piece, and then I'm gonna take all 3 pieces that are gonna be one piece, basically, put them on the car, and then should be done after I put the wheels on. Got this side all set up, so those are all bolted together, so that way we can make sure the fitment is good, just like we did with the fronts. So now I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on the car. Now comes the part where we go ahead and put the wheels back on. I'll show you guys how these rear sections are fitted now. Look at that. Looks cool because since the car is dark and this is white, you can clearly tell where the kit is at. So let's get the wheels on. This is gonna be hard with one hand, isn't it? Yep. It's the next day and the car's done. Got it done last night, late last night actually. I think it was like 2 in the morning. I wanted to get it done as fast as possible, and we did. The car is gonna get picked up in a little bit. So before that happens, I want to show you guys what the car looks like in the daytime, because you guys only got to see it in the nighttime. Looks pretty good with the setup. You know, the wheels are a little bit more stretched than my liking, but the car looks good. It's gonna look good after it's all like, I don't know if the customer's gonna wrap it or paint it, but it'll look good after, you know, it's 100% done. I do know that he does need to adjust the front air a little bit. Right now the car's fully aired out and you can still drive it, so if he adjusts them a little bit lower, he can sit a lot lower, make it look a lot better. And you know, like with my FRS, you can't really drive the car when it's aired out. I think in the back I can, because I designed the back to be raised up enough to where when it's at full lift, my rear axles are perfectly straight so I don't break them in case I decide to do a launch or something. But in the front, my front tires actually touch the frame when I air out, so then the front tires are kind of stuck and you can't really turn them because of the kit, or else you're gonna break it. But it will fully air out in the back. I can barely get away with it just because the exhaust is probably like that much off the ground. If it was any lower, then I wouldn't be able to drive it. But with this one, you can fully drive it when it's fully aired out. So it needs a little bit of adjustment. You could probably get it a lot lower. It is kind of low. It'll probably, I think the front end could probably go down another inch without touching the frame just yet. And then the rear, you know, it could be adjusted a lot lower as well. But so far it looks good. I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna drive it out, and then I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like out here. So here it is outside. I did have to do some cutting, like I said last night, in that section, just to be able to clear that a little bit better. And then I also cut the tabs where your inner fender liner usually bolts on there, and it clears. I could probably cut this a little bit more. I did cut that a little bit more just so it lines up with the fender on the inside. But the way, even though these wheels, they stick out a lot, they're probably about an inch further than the kit. I would normally recommend to have them like there, or maybe just a little bit, but a whole inch is a lot. But since the tires are so stretched, it really helps out. You can see that, to be able to turn the wheel without, you know, rubbing. So I'm guessing that's one of the benefits of running stretched tires like this, is you can run a much more aggressive setup and still clear, you know, when you're turning. So this all clears, and the car's actually fully aired out right now. You can see there's kind of a little bit of a gap. So he needs to be, you know, adjust these a lot lower. Probably get the car to sit that on the ground if he did, just because if you look up there, that's the frame. You're probably looking at a good inch that this tire is from touching that frame, maybe a little bit more depending on if the wheel was straight. But I just wanted to show you guys how that looks. Fitment wise, this kit actually fits really nice. For being, you know, a lot cheaper than the Rocket Bunny, the Rallybacker kit is really well made. You can tell right away from the fiberglass. Obviously this is a Japanese kit, so it's really high quality regardless of it, you know, being a different brand. I was able to line these up perfectly. You can actually grab it from here and move, like the whole car kind of like moves. And then this side skirt piece was already attached, so that was nice because I didn't have to worry about trying to get that to line up and be underneath the car and whatnot. And then it gets bolted underneath the door. This part lines up really nice with this little gap here. I've seen a lot of people do like a black, flat black wrap here along this, so it looks like a full vent. That's cool. The rear is also fully aired out. It's clearing very nicely. You can see back here could be an issue if you run it a bit lower than this, just because I can barely fit my finger in here. I'm guessing, you know, with the Rocket Bunny kits, is always an issue where this back piece rubs, so this would probably need to be cut a little bit more. But you know, if you're just gonna be driving at this height or maybe a little bit lower, like this side is pretty good. I'd say it's probably like a finger, and this is fully aired out as well. So I'm guessing he had these airbags set up for stock body obviously before, and now that's just not low enough for the wide body kit because the arches are typically much higher than your stock body would be. So that came out good. I was able to get the fitment to line up with this. I had to grind down some of these pieces. It's not like the Rocket Bunny kits where you don't really have to do anything. I did have to do a little bit of like sanding down to make sure that the kit sat properly. Not a lot, but I did have to do some. And then got this to line up so it's nice and smooth. Definitely a high quality kit. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. There's some imperfections like in the mold, like here if you look at right here around this like bolt hole area, there's a little bit of like damages from, I'm guessing, the mold. So this would have to be like primered in. So if you were to paint these, obviously you need to primer them before. That'll fill them in, sand them down, and then you should be good. And then with the gas cap, the fitment is really nice, except up here you can tell I grinded it a little bit. There was some issues with the door opening. It would actually rub on it. It wasn't stopping the door from opening, but I didn't want to have it rubbing all the time, so just grinded it down a little bit to avoid that. What else did I see? That's pretty much it. I guess on this side there was a little bit of a gap in between the car and this, and I could have bolted this closer in because I did see that it wasn't like fully like lined up with this, but the issue was that I was more focused on lining up this and making sure this was nice and smooth. So that wasn't really my worry, because if I do that and get that to touch in there, then you're looking at this potentially being like completely off to where there's like a big step. Yeah, everything else is pretty much good. So the car's done and it's gonna be on its way. It's fully aired out, so it's gonna need to air up. There we go. It's aired up, so I can make it out. Okay, keep it right there, right there. Hold down, okay. Okay, straight right there. Let's go. Oh, you're definitely making it with the car that high. So there it goes, Rally Backer is on its way home. The customer is super happy and excited. He's gonna be painting the car, he told me. And you know, gotta just save up for that stuff. The wheels are gonna get refinished as well. So that's going to be another expense, and then hopefully maybe we can make like a custom front splitter for him later on. So we'll see how it ends up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, you guys have a great day.